That's Sutton. And I'm Simply. And this is the Purple Rain Podcast. Welcome back to another episode, another installment of the Purple Rain Podcast, episode 194. Justin Bannon episode. Carl Davis, Mike Frederick, Sergio Kindle. Yeah, fell down the stairs. Hope he is all right. Dalen Mack, Isaiah Mack, and John Simon episode of the Purple Rain Podcast. Thank you for everyone coming through to this episode on this Friday Eve. As my K-Dog says, I see you guys in the chat. Thank you very much. And first and foremost, K-Dog said that he's tired of being nice. He's tired. Smash the like button. It's free and it helps a ton. 50 likes. But guess what? My door, going to my basement, locked. You can't go down there. The kids, they're locked. They can't come up the stairs. They can try to. They'll be waiting at the door. I'll slide like a piece of lettuce under the crevice of the door. That's all they're getting tonight. That's it.
Right. Yeah.
No liquid.
But see, like the thing is, only you watching can help them. So if you want to help the kids, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. We wouldn't hate that either. We'd actually love that very much. But like my guy Alex said, thank you guys for coming back to this episode 194 of the Purple Rain Podcast, a preview episode. Ravens are flying high right now, 2-0, getting ready to take on the Indianapolis Colts at M&T Bank Stadium, 1 p.m. CBS. You guys know the drill. We're here to talk about it, right? But before we get into anything else, we got to bring up, some housekeeping things. You can go on Instagram and follow us at the Purple Rain Podcast, just like you see down below. Follow me on Twitter or Instagram at Sutton Death. That's if you like my takes today. If you don't like my takes, then don't follow me. It's, don't pain yourself. And then this guy over here on Twitter at SimplyAS10 and on Instagram at SimplyAS10.prod, TikTok SimplyAS10, and YouTube SimplyAS10. It's as simple as that. All right. And then last, but certainly not least, our sponsor, Manscaped, man. You guys already know the drill. You can get anything, all of their wonderful products on their site, from the Lawnmower 4.0 to the Beard Hedger. If you're like me and you got a nice beard, you can get all that stuff, and you can save yourself 20% off with our code PRP. Plus, you get yourself free international shipping. Now, before we get into anything else, how we normally do it, we got to bring up who's here in the live chat, because that's the live ReignGang. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. He already gave the shout out to Mod K-Dog, but that's Mod K-Dog to you. Mod K-Dog to you. Make sure you guys get it right, get it tight. J Prime 235 in the house says, hello, everyone. What's going on, J Prime? Appreciate you for coming through. We got Dre, Purple Rain Pioneers, in full effect tonight. What's going on, man? Brandon Lewis says, we in this big. What's up, y'all? What's going on, Brandon? Appreciate you for pulling up, popping out. Let's see. Let me see. The Don is in here. It says Sutton Def, Simply as 10. My guys, PRP. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Dre saying, listen, help the kids, y'all. Help the kids. Like the video. Yeah, we got tons of Ravens topics for you today. Just give us a like. Just give it a like.
Yeah, only you can help the fight against the child hunger in my basement.
Exactly. So. Only you, Smokey the Bear voice. Let's see. SG says Colts week. Yes, sir. It is. Colts week kind of seems like a normal thing nowadays. We've been playing the Colts a lot past couple seasons, right? Like once a year.
Out of the last 4 seasons.
Yeah. They've all been pretty good games. Lamar is undefeated against the Colts. We'll get into all that.
Yeah.
Chike with the 2-piece in the chat, making it rain here. Making it rain on this episode of the Purple Rain Podcast. Thank you so much, Chike. We appreciate you. It says, who's winning this weekend, Ohio State or Notre Dame?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't watch enough of Notre Dame to really say that, because
I was gonna say the same.
I don't know. I feel like I watch Ohio State a lot more than Notre Dame. And Marvin Harrison Jr. is just him. I thought he's gonna have another big game. He's gonna just raise his stock even more. Give me Ohio State. Yeah, give me Ohio State.
Yeah, I mean, I do like Marvin Harrison Jr. is spectacular. He's one of those guys who, when he gets in the league, he's gonna light it up. Like, it's a foregone
Yeah,
conclusion, to be honest with you.
top 5
Uh,
consensus, 100%.
yeah, for sure, for sure. But Chike, let us know who you think is gonna win that game. I want to know. I want to know. But we appreciate you for your super chat donation. As you guys know, super chat donations, they all will get pulled up on the screen. We'll talk about it. We appreciate you guys. The Don says, yes, please feed the fam. Leave a like and subscribe. Yes, we would love that. We'd love that. Appreciate you, Don. And Yolanda's in the house as well. Says, good evening, Rain Gang. Good evening, Yolanda. Thank you for coming through. And if you're not watching this episode of the Purple Rain podcast live and you happen to be part of the hashtag replay gang, thank you so much for coming through to this episode. Make sure you leave a like and leave your comments, questions, concerns, whatever you got for us down below in the comments section. We'd greatly appreciate it. Okay. Also see Zeke Hokage in there. Can't miss my guy Zeke. Thank you for coming through, Zeke. Listen, Colts week. It's time to do a breakdown. You guys know how we start the breakdowns with the health report.
Yes.
Or the I word report, whatever you want to call it. Simply take us away on what's been going on recently as of this Thursday with the Colts and the Ravens health.
I'm sorry, Chia got me already excited for college football this weekend. Talking about Ohio State, Notre Dame, like we talked about last week. I've been watching more college football. So have you? Looking forward to that game this weekend. Now. Wow, thanks, GK. Now I'm hype already. But so for the I word report for the Indianapolis Colts, center Ryan Kelly, concussion, didn't practice today. Guard Quentin Nelson with a toe injury has not practiced the past 2 days, nor has Ryan Kelly. Quarterback Anthony Richardson has not practiced the past 2 days. Defensive back Kenny Moore II has not. He practiced limited yesterday, didn't practice today with a knee injury. And defensive tackle Grover Stewart was limited both today and yesterday. As for the Ravens, it's once again, we're in the midseason Ravens already with a full essay as our injury report. I'm going to go through all these players. They did not practice either today or yesterday. Odell Beckham Jr., Justice Hill, Marlon Humphrey, Tyler Linderbaum, Odafe Owe, Ronnie Stanley, and Marcus Williams. Jadeveon Clowney was a full participant today, and so was Devin Duvernay. Yes, a lot of big-name players are not practicing for the Ravens. I'd say, obviously, Ronnie, Marcus, Linderbaum, and Humphrey are all probably out. I'd keep my eyes on Owe and Odell coming back tomorrow. Maybe he's going to practice him before we play. But yeah, and Justice Hill, he's not going to play. It's looking like. So that's why we signed Kenyon Drake to the practice squad. We'll talk about that. But yeah, what's new? Water is wet. The sky is blue. There's I words in Baltimore. You just can't escape it no matter what you switch. Yeah, unfortunate, but here we are. Could be a lot worse. I'm looking at what's going on in Dallas right now. So these guys will be back, unlike Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah, and I was actually just thinking about Trayvon Diggs. It's been so crazy. We literally, since the last time we've had this show, there's been 2 superstars of this league who have gone down for the season. I don't even know what to say about it. Like, we wait all this time. I don't know why we love this sport, to be honest with you. Sometimes, like, we wait all off season to watch these star players perform week in and week out. But football is just such a dangerous sport that, like, it can just be taken away, like, just like that. You know what I mean? And we see that with Trayvon Diggs. Of course, prayers to him, his family, and his recovery. Nick Chubb as well, who's in division, so it's a lot closer to us as well. Yeah, that sucks. That hurts, for the Browns. But
we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, but I mean, looking at our health report, Justice Hill being out kind of is interesting to me because I think we're going to get a heavy dose of Gus Edwards, but at the same time, knowing how they like to have this running back by committee, it could be a very healthy mix between Gus, Melvin Gordon, and Kenyon Drake. Am I right?
Yep. I'd just rather prefer it was Gus and Drake. I'm sorry, Melvin Gordon, he can be a very nice guy, but I saw nothing in the preseason that was like, oh, well, he deserves snaps in the regular season. I just didn't see anything. No runs from him really stood out to me. Keaton Mitchell was outplaying him, an undrafted rookie from East Carolina. Hell, even the guy we had from, I think, Monmouth, that running back, I forgot his name, I'm sorry. He outplayed Melvin Gordon. I know it was against second and third stringers, but and just the fumbling issue scared the living hell out of me with Melvin Gordon. I know you made a short saying this, like, is this a trap game for the Ravens? And I'm looking at it now, we could be up 7-3 Melvin Gordon gets a carry, fumbles the ball, they go down, score, they're up 10-7. Whole different game. That really scares me with Melvin Gordon, and I just can't get it out of my head.
Yeah, and Dre bringing up here, he wants to see Keaton Mitchell in a couple weeks. So Keaton Mitchell started the season on IR, so he'll be eligible to come back week 5, I believe. So yeah, in a couple weeks, we'll be able to see Keaton Mitchell suited and booted for the Ravens, and we'll see what he can do. We'll see what he can offer. We saw what he did in the preseason with that burst, that speed. It looks like everything that the Ravens offense would want right now, especially with us kind of, stretching out the field, us playing a whole lot of 11 personnel. Like 50% of the snaps have been in 11 personnel, one running back, one tight end. So with Keaton Mitchell on the field, I think that he would have some running lanes. He would have some space to actually get to that top speed and really be a game breaker. He's probably the Ravens' best kept secret right now, to be honest with you.
How likely was last year a little bit. Yeah. It just takes that one game for him. Likely had that game against Tampa that really I'm sorry. I knew Boz changed his profile picture. I didn't know it was that. So forgive me for being a little immature right now. That's funny.
Who is that? I can't even tell.
It's Matt Canada with a mustache of a former leader who did some very bad things to people. Matt Canada is a terrorist. Yes. We'll talk about the Steelers later because, oh my God, their offense is awful. I'm sorry you had to watch that, Boz. So hopefully Keaton Mitchell, has his breakout game and, put on the map. But thank you for SG. It was Owen Wright who I was talking about, that running back. He had a great game against the Buccaneers, broke off that long run. I guess Melvin Gordon is just the vet in the room before we got Kenyon Drake. But when I saw we had Kenyon Drake, what was it? Ronald Jones and James Robinson in offer tryouts, and Kenyon Drake obviously, won that out of those 3. I'm very pleased with that. I did not realize how good Kenyon Drake was for us last year. Going through his stats, looking at the games, made some pretty big runs and had a pretty big impact on the offense.
What did you see stat wise from Kenyon Drake that jumped out to you?
The Giants game when he was our number 1 running back, put up over 100 yards. Had a real good run against the Panthers, a couple of big runs against the Saints and the Bucks.
Yeah,
really turning them legs. So there's still some gas in that tank with Kenyon Drake that I like.
Yeah, just kind of use him maybe as a change of pace back, something like that.
Catch him on the backfield.
Best case scenario is that Kenyon Drake ends up being the Nelson Aguilar of our running back room. I think that's the best case scenario for the Ravens. But the I word report is the I word report. This list is not going to be, it's never going to be empty. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. We have to accept it. We have to, it's next man up. That's why they say next man up, because this stuff happens. Guys get hurt in football. It's one of the most dangerous sports in the world. So, got to take it with a grain of salt. Can't be too mad about it. Okay, let's go ahead.
I started watching F1. Honestly, I can't deal with the I words, man. Watched my first F1 race the other day. It's just expand your horizon with sports. I'll tell you that. Next up, I'll watch cricket. Probably, I won't have to deal with this.
Yeah, this can be painful. It can be painful. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and get into our Purple Rain preview for this game. So you guys know the Purple Rain preview just kind of breaks down the average per game stats for each team going into this one. On this one right here, on this graphic here, you can see the Ravens are actually on the left and the Colts are on the right. Okay, so the Ravens averaging 203 passing yards per game, 144 rushing yards a game, and allowing 206 pass yards a game and allowing only 69 rushing yards a game. Points per game average is 26, and points per game allowed is 16.5. Now, looking over at the Colts side, they're throwing for about 225 a game, rushing for about 95.5 a game, allowing 287 through the air, and allowing 78.5 on the ground, averaging the same points per game as us, 26, but allowing a little bit more points, so 25.5 there. So, Alex, kind of looking at these numbers, and remember, for those of you guys watching, the Ravens numbers are on the left, Colts numbers are on the right. Alex, so looking at these numbers, what really jumps out to you?
I'm going to go with the points per game allowed with the Ravens, 16.5. And I even think that's skewed. I'm going to defensive points allowed. We allowed 17 points last week. Our defense did. So honestly, if split them up, we're looking at what, 12.5, I believe, around there, 12.5 to 13 points for the defense allowing, which I am perfectly fine with. I saw there's a stat coming out today. I think we've allowed 1 touchdown at home in the past 5 or 6 home games. This defense, man, like, consider with no Marcus Williams, no Marlon Humphrey, and really with no star edge rusher, has been doing bits, I think. They've been doing pretty good. They've been exceeding expectations right now, and that's my biggest thing. 16.5 points allowed. I mean, I am perfectly fine with that. You allow 9 points and you allow, on the road 24. That puts your offense in a good position to score and get you a dub.
Yeah. No, I mean, I really like the fact that you pointed out that the Ravens have only allowed 1 touchdown at the bank in the last 5 or 6, games there. That's impressive. That's impressive as hell. And what that tells me is that there might be a 12th man in Baltimore. Honestly, I do think so, because you see that defense is so hectic. It's so chaotic. It flies around the field. We got to give Mike McDonald his credit too. But the players on there, I mean, Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen, I think, are a big part of that. The defensive line is actually playing pretty well too. But it's just the crowd. The crowd gets behind that defense with the history and lineage of Baltimore football sports. I mean, it's always been about defense, man. It's just so much pride in the defense. So it's just, I think that has a lot to do with it. I think there is a 12th man in Baltimore, and that's why we're able to consistently hold teams to under 20 points a game, which is really good. Not a whole lot of teams can say that, So
Wait,
I think that that's probably the biggest thing that hops out to me. You got your thinking cap on right now. What's going on?
speaking of 20 points, we scored 20 points in back-to-back games.
Yeah.
Pinch me.
Right.
I'm dreaming.
Now, I still want us to score 30. I want us to score 30.
Okay.
Because we haven't scored 30 since
Jacksonville last year, I think.
Yeah. That was a minute ago. I can't remember exactly how many games that was ago, but it was a while ago, So I want to see this offense take the next step. And just kind of looking at the passing yards per game to the rushing yards per game, I think running the football in this game, and I guess we can kind of get into our keys to victory here.
Okay.
Running the football in this game, whoever can establish the run game first is going to win. And that might be a no-brainer, of course. I'm like, why would you say that? That's obvious. But the caveat here is that the Colts actually have a really good run defense. You can see it right there. They're averaging we're only allowing 78.5 rushing yards a game. Now, ours is a little bit better at 69 and only a 2-week sample size. I get that. But if you look at kind of just the overall production, overall performance of that Colts defensive line, that front seven, they've been playing really well, like up there with the Eagles and what they can do on their front, So it's going to be a challenge. I think a big key to victory is going to be get the Colts off balance early. They know we're going to come out and be wanting to run the ball down their throat. They're going to be ready for that, right? They're going to be ready to stop Gus Edwards on first down, on 1st and 10. They're going to be ready to stop, Justice Hill on 2nd and 7, whatever it may be, right? So I want to see kind of like a creative game plan from Todd Monken, something to kind of throw the Colts off. They've been used to game planning for a Greg Roman offense, but this Todd Monken offense, it has a little bit more nuance to it, as we've seen the first 2 weeks. So I definitely want to see that early, kind of throw them off and knock them off their spot defensively. So they're kind of reacting more to what we're doing, and then we pick up the pace a little bit. The Colts hate that pace. The Colts hate the pace that Lamar Jackson can put on them. So that's going to be my second key to victory. Lamar Jackson just weaponizing the pace in this game. And Lamar's getting more and more comfortable in that system, in that pocket, being decisive. Man, those are my keys to victory, man. I'm going to just let you talk. I'm getting excited just thinking about it. But again, first one, offense has got to be tricky early, knock them off their spot, have them guessing, right? And then the second part is, once we have them guessing, weaponize that pace with Lamar Jackson. I think it's smooth sailing. What do you think? What are your keys to victory?
Well, I'm right there with you with the running attack. I look at their defensive line and their run defense, led by DeForest Buckner, one of the best, D tackles in the league by far. You got to establish that run game early and often, and I think we will. Gus Edwards had a pretty good game, I think, against them in 2020. I know he had the one fumble, but then he punched it in after that.
Yeah.
So I want to see us do that, and whether it be, Kenyon Drake, I don't think Justice Hill plays this week. I think they're being cautious, which I'm perfectly fine with. Probably miss him more on special teams, honestly, thinking about it, and offense, because he has had good offensive games, but our special teams needs some improvement. Who would have thought we'd be saying that about a John Harbaugh-led team? So, yeah, that's something that I wasn't expecting to say. And thank you for bringing Max up, because key number 2 is actually, if the weather isn't bad and we can pass the ball, I see a 100-plus yard game for Rashad Bateman. I'm calling it to be this week is a Rashad Bateman week. Last week it was Aguilar. Week 1 it was Zay Flowers. Let it be Bates week. Because if Odell doesn't play, I think he's going to step up. So if the weather is all right and good enough to throw, I think it's, let Bateman cook. Let him cook, because I don't think Kenny Moore is going to play, who is their best defensive back. Let's see what they got. Give it to him. And then my third one, honestly, is just defense. Their offense really doesn't scare me without Anthony Richardson. Gardner Minshew doesn't scare me. I don't want to sound cocky at all. He's
last week.
Yeah, he's a formidable backup. He was solid with the Eagles, but he's a backup for a reason. Kind of like how when Tyler Huntley came in, we weren't getting blown out, but we weren't putting up the points that we were with Lamar. I expect the same thing with the Colts. Hold him to under 20 points, hold him, 17, and then we'll be good to go. So, and make his life a living hell as well. Show him why he wants to be a backup and not a starter.
Yeah, absolutely. Defense fly all over the place. Get Gardner Minshew rattled early, And again, thank you so much, Max, for your super chat donation, dropping the 2-piece in the chat on this episode 194 of the Purple Rain podcast. We appreciate you, brother. Says Rashad Bateman, legacy game incoming. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that I agree with Alex and what he was saying. It's time, or it has to be time. We have to get Rashad Bateman incorporated into this system. I was going to tweet this, but I didn't end up tweeting it. I loved how Nelson Aguilar got that touchdown look, and then also the celebration after. I feel like that play right there really motivates a guy like Nelson Aguilar to buy into this Ravens culture even more and just perform it. I think it's going to turn into even more production. I'm excited for Nelson Aguilar. And I want that same excitement for Rashad Bateman because I know what he's capable of. He's a younger receiver. He has higher upside. So let's get him the ball. I mean, Monken, let's get this guy the damn ball. We've seen what he can do with the ball in his hands. He's a chain mover at the very least, but he can break off a big run for a touchdown too. We've seen it. So, yeah. Thank you so much again for your super chat donation. We have another super chat donation. This one coming from Yolanda, dropping the 10-piece in the chat, making it absolutely thunderstorm on this episode of the Purple Rain podcast. We appreciate you, Yolanda. Says, I was very impressed with our O-line against the Bengals, especially since 2 starters were out. Yes, the makeshift offensive line from last week, they made shit work. Simple as that. That's what they did. And we're going to need them again because it's not looking like Stanley or Linderbaum are going to play this week. Again, I'm fine with that. I think Alex is fine with that too. I mean, err on the side of caution. It's a long season. But yeah, offensive line played really well. We're going to need them to carry that same production into this week because that front 7 for the Colts is nasty. It's no joke.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. So I wonder if I'm just thinking about the weather right now. If it rains, how these guys will do if we're running the ball. Let's say 60% of the time, 65. Hopefully Mustafa. I'm still a little worried about him, honestly. He had a real good game. Not worried about Makari as much. But if we can run the ball, how will they do? If we go, run, because he really hasn't played in a good offense. I'll say it. The Bears are in shambles. But one thing I do want to give credit to with the offense is Todd Monken, because he had his press conference, and he said something that stuck out to me. He said, coordinator means fix it. And I didn't hear that from the last coordinator at all. Todd Monken accepts responsibility. He'll take blame. He said it himself. Week 1 wasn't really good. And the fact that we, I only scored, 2 more points this past week, but the offense looked like they could score on any given drive. So with him, at the helm, I am very, very comfortable, and I'll stand behind that. Just hearing what he said everything, all the right things. But I'm sorry, that just stuck out to me a lot. Like the title offensive coordinator means something to him. It holds weight, and he wears it with a lot of pride, which I think every coordinator should. So shout out to you, Todd Monken. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Todd Monken's definitely found a home here in Baltimore. With the way that this offense is progressing, it's on a positive trajectory, and I can't wait to see more of it. But like you said, I mean, you want to hear accountability from your coaches, right? Especially your offensive and your defensive coordinator, who have very specific roles on the team, or on that coaching staff rather. So yeah, again, thank you so much for your super chat donation,
Thank you.
Yolanda. We really do appreciate that. Making it absolutely rain here on episode 194 of the Purple Rain podcast, which is what you're watching. Make sure you like the video. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We'd appreciate that. If it's your very first time listening or watching this podcast, very, very special thank you to you. We appreciate you. We hope you come back. Make sure you like the video before you get out of here if you do enjoy the content, and subscribe to the channel. I mean, just think about it, right? No pressure. Just
think about the kids, honestly, too.
Oh, see, there's pressure. Yep.
I'm sorry. Think about them. They're starving right now. I hear them. You can. I do. They're screeching. They're asking, please.
Yeah. They're begging the ReignGang. Like the video, guys. Boss says, hey, Matt Canada, take notes. Yeah. I watched that Steelers game on Monday, and like you alluded to earlier, the Steelers offense looks bad. It just looks abysmal. I mean, if it weren't for that big touchdown play to George Pickens,
pick six.
Man. Yeah, exactly. Pick six, the fumble recovery for 6. If it weren't for those plays, it's just we'd probably be having a little bit of different conversation about the Steelers right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've given you guys our keys to victory. We've showed you the preview stats, things like that. It's time to get into some score predictions for this game.
Okay.
So go ahead and drop your score predictions for the Ravens versus Colts games down in the chat. If you're not part of the live ReignGang, you're part of the hashtag replay gang. Make sure you drop your score predictions down below in the comment section, because we would love to see those too. So Alex, I'm gonna let you start per usual. What do you think the final score to Colts at Ravens will be?
A wise man I know, once over 30 points. That wise man is you. I think you're right. 31-16. Give me the Ravens winning it.
31-16. See, I like that. I like that a lot. But you know what, Alex? I just said how the offense is on a positive trajectory right now. It is looking really good. I don't want to do this. I'm predicting 40 points by the Ravens this week. It's going to be one of those games that kind of takes us by surprise. The offense has been doing this. It's been kind of creeping up steadily. Week 1 was like the extended preseason week, right? Week 2 was kind of like the warm-up, the appetizer. I think we're about to get the main course.
Oh, the undercooked appetizer.
The undercooked appetizer. That was week 1. Oh, man. Week 2, we actually got a correct appetizer, right? They didn't undercook it. So now week 3, we're about to get the entree, baby. We're about to get the full course meal. And I think we're going to drop 40 points on them. I'm going to go 41-16. 41-16. I think it's a Ravens blowout. I think we put the league on official notice, because I think they're on notice right now, but they're kind of like, they're a little banged up. I got to see more from Lamar, just a little bit more from Lamar, but give me 41-16 Ravens.
Wow. Hey, if you're right, we are coming back here on Monday, over the moon, purple sunglasses on, purple Kool-Aid in our hands, and we're Super Bowl champions. You cannot tell us anything. We don't care if it's week 3. Wow, exactly. I love that. I hope you're right. I hope you are right.
Yeah, I hope I'm right too, honestly. But let's go ahead and get into you guys' score predictions, see what you guys are saying here. Devon Johnson giving a shout out to the replay gang. Shout out to you, Devon.
Yeah, thank always you for commenting. Through. We see it.
Yeah. Let's see. Dre says 26-13 Ravens. Okay, humble scores. Let's see. Devon Johnson says 31-17 Ravens. I like that one. Similar to what you had there. Let's see. Jeremiah says 31-6. Okay. Now 31-6. That would hit hard. That would really, if we only allow 6 points, and drop 30.
We allowed 9 against the Texans.
It's possible.
And we fumbled in
31-7.
We fumbled in their red zone, basically. We gave them 3 points. We handed them 3 points. Charity 3.
Yeah, you're right. Boz saying 31-7 here, predicting a blowout. And Shea Prime says 21-14 Ravens, a 1 possession game. Okay. Might be a little closer than we think. Listen, the Colts, our games with the Colts especially the last one. I think it was in 2021, right?
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, that was the one. Oh, you were there at that game.
The
That was the
comeback.
primetime game, right?
I was there.
Wow. Yeah, you had to be on top of the moon after that game. I know M&T Bank Stadium was just rocking. Like just on the way out of the stadium, people just had to be going crazy.
MVP chance.
Yeah. Oh, I would have loved to be there. Would have
People,
loved to
like,
be
people
there.
forget when we were 8-3, Lamar was well and truly the MVP of the league that year. Like he was just putting the team on his back every game, and then what happens.
Hey, he might make a case this year for MVP. It's possible.
Yeah, I'm right there with him.
Casey says 27-17 Ravens. Or I guess you're saying Ravens. You're just saying 27-17. I hope so.
Scare me, Casey.
Yolanda says 31-17 Ravens. Okay, so we're kind of getting to more of the blowout. The Don says 35-9 Ravens. Love that. Love that. 31-13 Ravens, and I play simply in fantasy this week. That's coming from Zach White.
Yeah, me and fantasy aren't friends right now. Nick
Good old
Chubb
fantasy, the ReignGang Fantasy League.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's tough. That's tough right there. Tom just says 24-17. I guess Ravens. 21-0. A shutout predicted by Max Offit. That would be something.
He is Mystic Max for a reason. I'm gonna leave it at that. If we come back here on Monday and we pitch and there's a goose egg for the Colts, we will be having discussions. There will be agendas talking.
We will. K-Dog says smash that damn like button. Not a score prediction, but absolute facts. Go ahead and smash that damn like button. We'd appreciate that. Let's see. I saw a couple more. Brandon says 21-17 Ravens. Okay. I like it. Boss said he's running the ReignGang Fantasy League. Is he number one in the league? I don't think he is.
Are you? Have you adjusted your lineup, Boss? That is the main question.
We'll take a look at the standings here in a minute. In a few minutes.
Look at that profile picture.
Look at this. It's hilarious. Matt,
the Ravens fans were doing similar stuff with Greg Roman last year, but man,
Karan Cruz says 33-13 Ravens. Love that too. Okay. All right. So those are the score predictions that we have for you guys for the Ravens at Colts game. I expect it to be at least, I don't want to speak for Alex on this one, but I expect it to be an offensive just showcase, to be honest with you, when it comes to the Ravens. Like I can see Rashad Bateman getting himself a touchdown. I could see this being a big game for Zay Flowers. I could, after having last week where he kind of took a step back in targets, but Zay Flowers is one of those guys who his confidence is just building and building and building. You could see it after that big catch last week. Like you can tell like he's getting some juice on this offense, and I think that Lamar will continue to feed him. And I can't wait to see it.
You look at a defense and you're like, okay, well, Zay Flowers had this big catch last week in a big game week 1, but also this guy, Nelson Aguilar, had 5 catches for 62 yards and a touchdown. Who are we watching? Oh, yeah, this guy, Mark Andrews, who last time we played him put up, 8-9 catches for 140-some yards and was eating us up in the middle of the field. Who are we going to cover? Hey, I'm glad I'm not the DC for the Colts because there's a lot of questions I don't have the answer to right there.
Yeah. It's really a pick your poison offense. It really is right now. And as they continue to kind of mesh and gel as a unit, it's going to get scarier and scarier for defenses. It's already hard planning for the Ravens because you can have every matchup across the board shut down from your secondary. But guess what? It doesn't matter because we have a quarterback who can get out of the pocket and still scramble for 8 to 10 yards, which is all you need to stay on the field. You know, so. We do have another super chat donation. This one's coming from Oscar Lilienthal. Thank you so much, bro. Dropping the 2-piece in the chat, making it rain here on episode 194 of the Purple Rain podcast. Says my fantasy team is done. I drafted J.K. Dobbins and Nick Chubb.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
prayers to you. That hurts.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely gonna keep you in our prayers, brother. That hurts real bad.
Who are you pulling up with that running back now? You got to get him off the waiver wire.
Yeah, drop that in the chat. Who are you going to start now? Who are you starting now? I want to know.
That's hard.
Might be a good laugh. I don't want to laugh at your pain, but trust me, because I get it. I have Austin Eckler in one of my leagues. He was out last week. Probably not going to play this week. So it's tough. Yeah. It's tough. There's been I words all around the league. It's been truly crazy thus far.
I had Saquon Barkley in my big money league, which sucks. So yeah, I'm right there with you.
Okay. So those are score predictions for the Ravens and Colts game. Again, now it is time for us to get into some picks. Week 3 picks. Before we do it, we got to bring up how we did last week, right?
Boy, I'm scared.
Yeah. Got to bring up how we did last week. Now, listen, week 1 was rough. It was rough. Just a disclaimer. I think I only hit on like maybe 40% of picks, and Alex hit like 38%, something like that. We weren't that great. But I'll tell you what, week 2, we stepped our game up. We stepped our game up in a major way. You can see it here. We cooked pretty well.
We kind of cooked.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
Okay. Wow.
Exactly. Yeah. 75% pick percentage for me. Simply is at 68%. The only reason that Simply is not also at 75% is because he didn't pick the Ravens to beat the Bengals, but it's okay. It's cool. It's cool.
Listen, I am fine with that being lower and the Ravens proving me wrong. I'm fine with it. Now, this fucking team over here, the Lions, right? They have, I don't know what's going on, all right? Jared Goofball. I don't want to give that name. Let's not throw pick sixes, all right? CJ Gardner-Johnson that might be out for the year now. And the Chiefs, they found a way to screw me as well. Hey, I'm back on it this week. I promise you. We are both going to get over 75% this week. Hell, 80%.
So listen, if you're watching this or you're listening to this and you're a betting man or a betting woman, listen, pay attention because we might have some good money line bets for you. So pay attention. Okay. With that being said, Alex, do you have the schedule for week 3 pulled up?
Of course I do. I'm ready.
All right. Well, if you're ready, I'm ready. And I think the ReignGang is ready too. So let's go ahead and get into what we really came here to get into. Week 3 picks.
All right. Daniel Jones and the Saquon-less New York Giants going up against the juggernaut known as the San Francisco 49ers. Brandon Ayuk isn't playing. Don't really care. Niners.
Yeah, Niners all the way. They're actually going to be part of my Purple Rain Parlay, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, definitely Niners all the way.
All right. Now we have the 2-0, yes, 2-0 Atlanta Falcons against the 1-1 Detroit Lions in Detroit. You know me. I just cursed them out. But we're like a toxic relationship. I got to go back to them. Give me the Lions.
Oh, man. This is going to be a good one. I love Bijan Robinson, man. You see that play where he made those 3 cuts? It was before even getting to the line of scrimmage. Nasty.
That camera angle that they had above the... That was crazy. That was crazy.
Let me go with the Falcons on this one, man. I feel like they're going to control the game on the ground. As long as Desmond Ridder cannot make too many mistakes, I think that they can pull this one out. I think it might be another close one, kind of like last week's game with Seattle, but give me the Falcons in this one. They're going to start off 3-0. The whole league's going to be like, what the hell's going on? But yeah, give me the Falcons.
Desmond Ridder and the Falcons. Speaking of mid, the Chargers against the Vikings. This is a game I will not be betting on because, to be honest, I hate both teams right now. I don't know who they are. I don't know who the Vikings are. I don't know who the Chargers are. To me, the Chargers are a bunch of fakes, phonies. I mean, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Justin Herbert is the best what-if quarterback of all time. They're playing in Minnesota. I guess the Vikings, I think that the Vikings will win at home. I think Justin Jefferson is going to cook their secondary, and the Chargers just have Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and Quentin Johnson, basically the same prototype of receiver. I don't see anybody popping the top off from that defense. Give me the Vikings.
Yeah, this is going to be a high-scoring game. I definitely think that. I mean, whatever your sports book says, just take the over. Take the over on the points line because Chargers don't have a good passing defense. The Vikings can't run the ball. They're going to be throwing it all over the field. Give me the Vikings in this one. At home, I feel like this is going to be the game where Justin Jefferson says no. Okay? Like, no. He's going to step up. He's going to make one of those X-Factor plays, really put the Vikings ahead. Yeah, give me the Vikings in this one. I like the Vikings.
Now, moving on, we have the Saints against the Packers. The Packers losing to the Falcons actually really surprised me. I thought they were going to be better, but they weren't. It's in Lambeau. The Saints didn't really show me a lot against the Panthers. To be honest, I really wasn't watching it that much. But when I did watch, it wasn't the best. But give me a Derek Carr 3-0 start. I think he's going to, show the Raiders, like, you let go of me? Well, I'm 3-0. I like the Saints in this one.
I'm gonna go with the Panthers in this one. Not the Panthers, but the Packers. I'm sorry. I like the Packers. Jordan Love. I mean, coming off a loss last week, I like what they are cooking in Green Bay. You know, I think that they're on to something. They're on to a little bit something, especially offensively. And I think at home they pull this one out. Give me the Packers.
I'm about to change my pick. Let me see if Aaron Jones is practicing real quick. Because if he's playing, that's a big difference. He's limited. Okay. I'm still going with the Saints. I'll stick with my pick.
Okay.
Moving on to next, we have the Texans and the Jags. Give me the Jags here. It just got announced Derek Stingley was hurt today. That is awful for him. He had a great start to the season. Number 3 overall pick last year. Give me the Jags in this one.
Yeah, definitely going to go Jags. I think the Jags, in their last 10 games, I think they're like 9-1 regular season games, at least. So, yeah, give me the Jags in this one. They don't really lose to many teams besides the Chiefs. So, yeah, I like the Jags.
And now with the Vic Fangio Bowl, the Broncos and the Dolphins in Miami. I like the Dolphins. That's the one.
Dolphins and let me get the Dolphins. I mean, the Broncos are going to be desperately trying to get a win. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be one of those weeks for them, or else it's going to feel like the ship is sinking for Sean Payton, Russell Wilson, and company. But yeah, I just don't see them. I don't see them beating the Dolphins. Man, Tyreek Hill is the ultimate equalizer. Like I said, and Tua's playing really well. So yeah, I'll take the Dolphins.
Mid-off, Titans and Browns. I don't know who to pick in this one. The Titans had a real good win over the Chargers, and the Browns had a real bad loss with their $230 million fully guaranteed quarterback getting multiple personal fouls, shoving a ref, nothing happened to him. I mean, I guess that's what we do now. That's cool.
I thought the NFL would have thrown the book at Deshaun Watson for that.
What does he have on? Like, what does he have to do to actually serve an actual consequence?
He's got to have some dirt on Goodell.
Because Matt Judon, like, he put his hands on the referee. He did deserve to get ejected in 2020. But so did Deshaun Watson for that. I mean, It was the same amount of contact, and he got let off. I don't know.
I'm going Titans in this one.
I'm going to go Titans, actually. I'm going Titans. I want to say they're Browns, but I think Cooper is still banged up. Deshaun Watson doesn't know who he's throwing to. I'll take the Titans.
Yeah.
Moving on to this next one, which should be pretty good, the Bills and the Commanders.
Yes. Ooh, I was waiting for this one.
The 2-0 Commanders. The Commanders have
Give me the Commanders, baby. Give me the Commanders. I'm taking them over the Bills. I do not care. I'm invested. I believe in Sam Howell, man. I mean, he kind of reminds me a little bit of. You guys might hate me for saying this. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Joe Flacco without all the hype.
I was thinking that.
Hangs in the pocket, stands tall, delivers the football, doesn't care if he's gonna get hit. He's a good player, man. He's a good player, and I can't wait to see more of him. So I got the Commanders in an upset, like Dre says.
The Joseph Vincent Flacco. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I want to pick the Commanders. That means I need Chase Young to just make Josh Allen's life a living hell. I definitely think it can happen, but I'm gonna go with the Bills here, even though I don't trust them that much. I think they have to win this game. Like, you beating the Raiders at home, you're expected to do that. Now you have a hard game on the road. You lost against the Jets on the road. Like, you got to show me something here. So give me the Bills in this one. But I'm not going to be surprised if the Commanders win, honestly.
I mean, Commanders, like you said, Chase Young, Sweat, you're going to be getting after Josh Allen. Is going to flush him out of the pocket a lot, which is going to make it a big game for their linebackers, guys like Jamin Davis. Like, they're going to be having to play sideline to sideline in that game, and I think that they can. I mean, they've shown that they are capable of doing so. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Commanders.
All right. So obviously Colts Ravens. We both the Ravens here. The Patriots and the Jets. The Patriots are like 15-0 against the Jets. I think the last 15 appearances or something like that. And guess what? I think it lives on. I have the Patriots beating the Jets in New York. I think Mac Jones and company are due for a win. I think they get here. Zach Wilson, you got to show me something. So show me about 3 interceptions. Give me the Patriots.
Give me the Patriots too. I think that the Jets are kind of on this Aaron Rodgers hangover. You know, like It's almost like that week 1 game in against the Bills was kind of like a drunk night for the Jets. Like, a lot of bad shit happened. It ended up being a good night, but they paid for it in the morning. You know, like it's one of those. It's one of those, and I think that they're still paying for it. I don't think they're all the way back yet. You got guys like Sauce Gardner saying that, oh, CeeDee Lamb didn't get off on me. I don't know what happened, but he didn't. You know what I mean? I think I mentioned it on Monday, but I don't really see that team as no. They're not as much of a team as the Patriots are right now. I don't love the Patriots, but I'll take them in this game.
Too many me's, not enough we's, and one of the we's on there is Garrett Wilson, who I love what he said. You know, he said we all have to play better. You know, it's not about Zach throwing interceptions. We got to get open. Hell, Garrett, you got open. He took that touchdown, 60-some yards, 70 yards. You're doing what you can. So I respect him for saying that, because he's one of the few guys on there who has played up the standard. Moving on now to an NFC matchup, the Panthers and the Seahawks. Andy Dalton leading these Panthers since Bryce Young is out. I like the Seahawks in this one. Geno Smith, don't write back. They wrote you off.
Yeah, I'm going to go Seahawks in this one too. Just seem like the more refined team right now than the Panthers are just kind of still trying to figure things out. Rookie quarterback is not even playing this week, like you said. Yeah, give me the Seahawks in this one.
Yeah, I saw something where like the Panthers are scared that they can't run QB sneaks with Bryce Young because he's too small. I'm not sure how true that is, but that's worrying.
I did see that too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird to come out. Moving on, I think if I were to make a lock for this week, it'd be this one: the Kansas City Chiefs against the dysfunctional
Bears.
NFC team known as the Chicago Bears. Justin Fields blaming coaching and backtracking. Their defensive coordinator is house getting raided, and then he resigns. The Bears are the Bishop Sycamore of the NFL right now. Honestly,
Yikes.
It's not good. Give me the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. Bears going to 0-3. The mic'd up came out of DJ Moore basically saying they don't know how to use them. It's not looking good over there in Chi-Town.
Yeah, give me the Chiefs like minus 13.5, to be honest with you. Yeah, Chiefs for sure, all the way.
I am 0-2 on Chiefs games this year, so maybe I go 1-2. You would think so.
Okay.
And now we have the Cowboys and the Cardinals. I was just noted on Monday that I said the Cowboys were the best team in the league. With the injury to Trayvon Diggs, I don't think anymore, but I still haven't beaten the Cardinals in this one.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be all over the Cardinals. Like give me the Cowboys in this one. Their defense is just lights out right now. Michael Parsons is the best pass rusher in the league right now, just hands down as it stands. Yeah. So yeah, give me the Cowboys.
And speaking of some more good pass rushers, we have on Sunday Night Football, the Steelers and Raiders, TJ Watt, Max Crosby in Vegas. I don't even know how to feel about this game. We can talk about Matt Canada right now. I don't know what the hell he's doing. Their offense is slow. Najee Harris doesn't look like a first-round pick. I think the Ravens have 3 running backs on the roster that could get more production than Najee Harris right now. Hate to say it. Pickens does his thing. Deontay Johnson the IR, but I don't know what they call half the time. They just look slow. They look sluggish. And I know us Ravens fans were mad at Greg Roman, but I don't think it got to the point, or maybe when there was the signs of Fire Roman at the facility, but their fans were chanting Fire Canada at their game on Monday night. We didn't get that bad, the Ravens fans, so that is saying a lot. But unfortunately, I have the Raiders winning this one. I think Jimmy G and the co, they get it done. I just think the Steelers' offensive woes continue.
Yeah, Boz is saying here that Steelers win in OT 23-20, but you know what? I agree with you on this one, Alex. I think that the Raiders win this one. What really concerns me is the Steelers' run defense is a little bit shaky. And I believe in Josh Jacobs. That he hasn't had the best season so far, but I think this is his bounce back week. Give me the Raiders over the Steelers.
Yeah, I think it'll be a close one. I'm sorry, boss. I think it's going to be a close one. It wouldn't surprise me if they pull up some Mike Tomlin, Pittsburgh Steelers magic, but I think the Raiders have the better offense. And now, I'm tired of these doubleheader Monday night games. I really don't like them. We have it again. We have the Eagles and the Buccaneers. The Bucs have surprised me. I'm not gonna lie, but the Eagles look pretty damn good. Give me the Eagles this one in a 1-score game.
Damn, this is gonna be the one where I know if I pick the Eagles, the Bucks are gonna win. I just know. I have a feeling, man. And since Tampa Bay too, the Eagles haven't necessarily been flying high like people expected them to this year, especially on offense. I don't see this week as the week that they really get rolling all the way yet. But man,
I mean, DeAndre Swift had a career game last week.
Yeah, he did. You're right. I called he would go over on his rushing yards.
Oh, but smashed it over.
He smashed it. Yeah, he like tripled it. But let me get the Bucks in this one, man. I'm gonna just go ahead and I'm gonna take the Buccaneers. They're at home. Baker's been playing really well, feeling dangerous. That defense is looking really good too. Yeah, give me the Bucks. Give me the Bucks.
And our final game of the week, a rematch of the Super Bowl 2021. Rams, Bengals in Cincinnati. The Bengals are looking like a shell of themselves. The Rams kind of looked good the first week and kind of looked last week. Yeah. If Joe Burrow plays, I like the Bengals in this one. The Rams just don't show me a lot of defense, unfortunately. Yeah, give me the Bengals.
I mean, even if Burrow plays, he's going to be compromised. You know, like I don't really see the point in continuing to force a hobbled Joe Burrow out there if it's not going to get you any wins. I mean, they're 0-2 with hobbled Burrow, so you might as well just like cut your losses, lick your wounds, and just let him sit until he's healthy. You know, so I'm gonna go with the Rams in this one. I think that it's another big game for Puka Nacua. Matthew Stafford having a silent, decent year so far. So yeah, I'll go with the Rams.
Okay, and there's our picks for week 3. Thank you all for joining us. Very fun segment. And now I think it's time for a little thing we call the Purple Rain Parlay. And this guy above me, Sutton Dev, smashed it last week. I believe the over for DeAndre Swift was like 33, 34 and a half?
33 and a half.
Yeah, he got like 140, I believe.
Yeah,
around there.
Crazy.
Absolutely smashed it. So I'll start off today. I have the Niners covering that 6.5 point spread at halftime. They average, I think, 18.5 points at half this year already, and I expect them to at least be winning by a touchdown over the Giants at halftime.
Okay. Wait, say that one more time, bro. I missed the first part. My bad.
The first half spread is 6.5 points. I have them over that.
Okay. No, I like that. For me, I have a play tonight on tonight's game. I'm gonna go with an Elijah Mitchell anytime touchdown.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna go with. And the reason why I say that is because I think that this game is going to be a baby blowout. Maybe not a huge blowout, but I think it's going to be maybe like 15 or maybe 20-point deficit, that sort of thing. And what I think is going to happen is throughout the game, once the 49ers kind of build a comfortable lead, they're going to take McCaffrey out and kind of, not risk him playing in these meaningless downs and snaps, because we've been seeing what's been happening with guys across the league. Everybody's been getting hurt, going down, especially with the running backs, So I think they kind of err on the side of caution. Maybe in the second half, if you really want to get frisky, do any second half touchdown for Elijah Mitchell. I think they'll kind of plug and play him. People forgot about how good that kid is, and I think he'll score. So give me Elijah Mitchell anytime touchdown. And if you want to get frisky and add some juice, do a second half touchdown.
I like that. I do like that. I'm gonna get down on that. I don't have many others. I know the most popular bet for today is the over on Elijah Mitchell rushing yards. I'm keeping my eyes on that because there's way too many people who have bet the over on that. Vegas might have to make the call, take him out, put McCaffrey in. There's one thing I will avoid today, and I know it's probably going to happen now, but I believe Christian McCaffrey has scored in 12 straight games. I'm like, that's 12 straight. He'll have to score again and watch him not score tonight. So I'm staying away from that, which means it's probably going to happen now that I said it.
Well, you know what just popped into my head? One more anytime touchdown. Not for tonight's game, but for our game, the Ravens. Give me an anytime touchdown for Lamar Jackson. I would want to know, what are the odds on that right now? If it's plus money, then I would say hammer it. If it's plus money. I think the last couple of weeks has been like minus 110, something like that.
Minus 110 on DraftKings.
That's what it is? Okay. Yeah. I mean, I like that play. I do. I like that play. I just think that when we get up close and personal to the goal line, like maybe on the 1 or the 2, we haven't really tried the QB, the option play just yet. So I think that we line up Gus Edwards down there on the goal line. Everybody in the building thinks Gus Edwards is going to get the ball, and then Lamar keeps, and he just kind of gets that touchdown. So give me an anytime Lamar touchdown on Sunday, and give me an anytime Elijah Mitchell touchdown on a Thursday night game.
I like it. And there we go.
Yes, sir.
There's
There
little
you have
Purple
it.
Rain plays, Purple Rain parlays. I hope
Yeah.
you guys enjoy that because I know I did. I actually was betting on some soccer yesterday. Did pretty well.
Okay.
Yeah, Champions League is back. My team, Arsenal, won 4-0. First time in the Champions League in 6 years. I was a senior in high school last time they were in there, so I'm gonna shed a tear of joy.
Shed a tear of joy.
When they were playing the anthem, my ass was standing up, hand over my heart. I was ready. Put me in, coach. I was ready to go in.
Hey, listen, anybody watching right now, all about 60 people watching, thank you guys so much for coming out to this episode of the Purple Rain Podcast. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel as well. And now it is time for our questions segment. So make sure you go ahead and drop your questions down below. While you guys are doing that, I want to bring up one more thing on the screen. As you guys know, we have the Purple Rain Fantasy League, obviously. I want to show you guys kind of the standings. Yeah, well, I want to show you the standings for this week and see what we got going on here. So a little bit different from last week.
Yeah.
I was number 8 last week. I did beat Alex one-on-one head-to-head last week. And now I'm number 2. Let me see. We got Alex at number 4.
Yeah.
Mother Tucker. That's Rush, isn't it?
That's Mod Rush. Yeah.
Mod Rush, number
saw him
1,
last week.
2-0.
Oh, yeah, I saw Rush last week at the Maryland game. I should have brought it up.
Doing?
Doing fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah. Should have brought up.
Wait, are you going to a Maryland game this week?
They play Michigan State tomorrow. I'm trying to go to the game next week against Indiana.
Oh, okay. Got you. Nice. All right. By the way, I am indeed going to that Orioles game next Friday.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but that is the Purple Rain Fantasy League going strong in there. I'm hoping to get a W this year. Alex won the whole league last year. I'm hoping to win it this year. I think that'd be pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have your crown.
Let's go ahead and bring up you guys' questions here. If you guys have any. The Don says, great stream, guys. We appreciate that. Tanja says the same thing. We appreciate you. We appreciate you guys.
Drop your burning questions.
Dre says, how do you guys feel about the Ravens pass rush so far? So very limited on sacks, of course. But and Owe got hurt last game. So right now, I mean, honestly, it's a problem. It's an issue. Last week I think was a little bit of Joe Burrow getting the ball out quick, and that's why we weren't really able to get to him because he just quite simply did not want to be hit. But man, we're gonna need somebody to step up on that defensive line, man. Whether it be David Ajabo kind of replicating what he did in week 1, or if it's Clowney continuing to perform. Clowney's actually been playing pretty well, in my opinion. Yeah. But we're going to need somebody who's going to be more of that game record, man. I mean, somebody who can at least emulate half of what a Micah Parsons would do, half of what a TJ Watt would do, half of what a Myles Garrett would do. We need something like that. What do you think, though?
Yeah, I fell for the Owe trap once again. I know he's not healthy right now.
Each and every year.
And guess what? I'm gonna fall for it again next year. Yeah. But I mean, week 1 he did show me something. He was causing havoc, and last week he only played a couple of snaps. So I'm gonna give him his time. But for a first round pick, like if I'm EDC, I'm like, all right, we obviously cannot develop a pass rusher right now. Don't know why.
Yeah.
In years prior, we took. Pardon my language. We took fucking Zadarius Smith from Kentucky and turned him into a premier pass rusher. We took fucking Matt Judon from Grand Valley State University, made him a premier pass rusher. What has changed? Is it the scouting? Is it coaching? Because we were taking guys from random colleges. I know Kentucky isn't random, but it's obviously not like a Bama, LSU, Clemson, one of those, a football powerhouse. And he was producing. So now, maybe Ojabo is our savior. Maybe he is. I'm putting my fingers together, fingers crossed. So, but yeah, I'm underwhelmed by the pass rush right now.
Yeah, I mean, and again, we're playing a Gardner Minshew this week, who, I think should be a little bit of a target practice game for our edge rushers. Like, get after him, rattle that guy. You should be able to. Okay. See, Optimistic O's fan says start Gus Edwards in his flex this week. I think that's not a bad play. That's not a bad play. Justice Hill's not playing. Gus Edwards is the RB1. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think Gus scores this week as well. I think he'll punch it in like he did last week. And he broke off like 2 good runs too.
Yeah, he did. Gus Edwards is averaging 6.2 yards a carry right now. Has a touchdown. It's just the guy. He's looking like RB1 at this very specific time.
He's just good. Yeah. He's just a bruiser, a thumper.
Let's see. Brandon says, will you give up Ronnie Stanley for Brian Burns because the Ravens are looking at him? Give up Stanley for Brian Burns. Woo. My heart says no.
Yeah, left tackles are too hard to come by. And I'm not going to let one Patrick McCarry start make me forget about how good Ronnie Stanley is. As much I would love Brian Burns. I love his Spider-Man celebration. He's nasty.
Yeah.
Call them around the trade deadline, see what they want.
Yeah.
Then we can talk.
I'm going to say no. Just because, like you said, especially a left tackle on the level of a Ronnie Stanley, hard to come by. Very hard to come by, like you said. So, no, I think we'll continue to keep trying at edge rusher, at defensive end. And like we said, hopefully one of these guys can step up. Hopefully it's David Ojabo. Maybe it's Owe. At some point he turns it on. We don't know. But something's got to give when it comes to that pass rush, because I don't want it to be, week 15, 16, 17, and we're still not getting pressure on guys. And going to the playoffs, we're just letting these all-star quarterbacks just kind of sit back and be comfortable in the pocket and pick us apart. Just can't have that. Can't have it. Okay.
Dre says he wasn't too big on the Clowney signing, but he looks great. Dre, I am right there behind you. I hated it, and I think he's played very well these first 2 weeks. So I'm happy to be wrong on that one.
Yeah. Gus
Who's out there still as well with edge rushers? I think Melvin Ingram's out there. Robert Quinn, but he had the off the field stuff. Nobody really else is left out there.
You hear about what's going on with Chandler Jones?
I have heard about that, and that is very worrying. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if it's like him actually being for real, or if it's like the Raiders actually just being, because they are questionable. We've seen with the Raiders. Like the Raiders are just, they're dysfunctional.
A little shady. But hopefully he gets better. I think it was some mental health issues that they were talking about, things like that. If that is the case, then definitely praying for him. I see Boz. We're gonna go ahead and end it with Boz's question here. It says, who do I start in my flex this week, Pickens or Zay Flowers? So Pickens had that big catch and run. I think like 130 yards receiving or something like that for that touchdown. So
I'll be honest, probably Pickens. As much as I want to say Zay, I'm gonna go back to the weather. Just check the weather, honestly. If it's gonna rain here, I probably start Pickens, especially because the Raiders don't really have good corners, and Pickens is like your only go-to guy compared to the Ravens, Webb, Bate, and Webb Aguilar, who showed up last week. You look at the Steelers, like outside of Pickens, who else do you have? Because Muth hasn't really been involved in Allen Robinson, and then Deontay's not even playing, and Gunner doesn't know how to step on the out of bounds. I like Pickens. Don't kill me for saying that, but I like Pickens fantasy-wise over Zay.
Yeah, but you're right. They might try to get the ball to Pickens even more after what he did. He had an X-Factor play last week is what I like to call it. Yeah, that is true. They might try to get the ball to him more, but we've seen that Todd Monken, Zay Flowers can make one guy miss and go for 6 yards, and Todd Monken is dialing him up right back to back. Again.
Listen to him.
So
I told you to bench DeAndre Swift last week. Listen to him.
I'm thinking it's gonna be Zay Flowers. I'm gonna go Zay Flowers, boss, for sure.
There you go. Listen to Sutton.
Okay. All right. We're gonna go ahead and end it there. Thank you guys so much again for coming out to this episode 194 of the Purple Rain Podcast. Before we get out of here, you guys already know what the deal is. You can follow us on Instagram at the Purple Rain Podcast. You can follow me on Twitter or Instagram at Sutton Def. And then this guy over here, you can follow him on Twitter at SimplyAS10, on Instagram at SimplyAS10.prod, and pretty much everywhere else at SimplyAS10. So yeah, Make sure you also go on manscaped.com and get any of their wonderful products that they have on that wonderful website and use our code PRP at checkout. Save yourself 20% off plus free international shipping. Again, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for coming on to this episode. We're at week 3. Still a long season ahead of us. So if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed the content you just consumed, hit that like button. We'd appreciate it. We'd appreciate it. Sorry. And with that being said, I'm gonna let my guy Alex take us out.
Yeah, one more question. Are you watching the Oregon-Colorado game this week?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
3:30. Yeah.
I just had to ask you that. I'm gonna try to keep my eyes on it. I think I'm gonna be at the Towson game, but it'll probably get delayed because of the weather. So I'm definitely gonna be trying to watch that. But just wanted to ask. Figure so.
Yeah.
But thank you everybody coming out. Let me check the likes real quick. We're at 35. They'll get a little something. We're 15 away. They'll get enough to hold them over for the night. But when I wake up tomorrow, I hope we are past 50. Thank you everybody for coming through episode 194 of the Purple Rain podcast. Go Ravens. We'll be come back here talking to you, and we're 3-0. And as always, stay positive, test negative.
And never, ever, ever forget, even on the rainiest of days, to call God. It's been episode 194 of the Purple Rain podcast. We're going to catch you guys in the next